When Karen told me my newly paved driveway was too fancy for the neighborhood, I thought she was joking. Spoiler, she wasn't. She filed a formal HOA complaint, started a petty war, and even tried to downgrade my property value. But if she thought I'd take it lying down, she clearly didn't know who she was dealing with. What happened next? Let's just say I got fabulously sparkly revenge. And now she's literally stuck with it. Forever. The fancy driveway dilemma. I never thought a slab of concrete could cause a neighborhood meltdown, but then again, I'd never lived across from Karen before. You see, my old driveway was a mess. Cracked, faded, uneven. It looked like it had been bombed during a parking lot war. So after saving for nearly a year, I finally invested in a stamped concrete upgrade. Think slate texture, charcoal gray, bordered with clean stone. It wasn't flashy, just classy, clean, elegant. To me, it looked like home. To Karen, it looked like a declaration of war. I first noticed her watching during the installation. While the crew worked, Karen stood at her window, arms folded, phone in hand, like she was live tweeting the apocalypse. The second they finished, she was in my yard. "Excuse me," she sniffed. "That thing is not in keeping with the neighborhood aesthetic." I blinked. "You mean my driveway?" "It's too fancy," she said. "This isn't Beverly Hills." "I was just trying to fix the cracks," I said, confused. "It's literally a driveway." "It's a status symbol," she snapped. "You're showing off." Then she did the one thing I hoped she wouldn't. She went to the HOA. The next day, I got a notice on my door. "Dear homeowner, you are in violation of HOA Section 3.2, unapproved structural modifications. Your new driveway was not pre-approved. Please submit for retroactive review within 7 days or face daily fines." It was nonsense. I'd checked the bylaws. Driveways didn't require board approval unless they expanded the footprint or used unusual materials. Mine did neither. Still, I submitted the paperwork. I even attached a photo of another stamped concrete driveway down the block, one that had been there for years. Karen, of course, was at the next HOA meeting. Front row, smirking. When my application came up for vote, she raised her hand. "I believe the homeowner is attempting to gentrify the cul-de-sac," she said, as if she were a senator speaking at Congress. I had to stifle a laugh. The board approved my driveway, 4 votes to 1. Guess who the one was? I figured that would be the end of it. I figured wrong. Over the next 2 weeks, Karen launched what I now call Operation Downgrade. First, she started parking her dented 1990s station wagon partially in front of my driveway. Just enough to be annoying, but not enough to violate city code. Then she planted a crooked, "No showy driveways" sign in her lawn, facing mine. And then came the glitter. No, not yet. First, she filed a complaint with the city's code enforcement office, claiming my driveway blinded drivers during sunny days. The inspector came, looked puzzled, took a photo, left. He didn't even make a report. Then came the last straw. One morning, I stepped outside to find paint. Cheap, chalky, ugly white paint smeared across the edge of my beautiful new driveway. It wasn't a lot, just a corner, but it was deliberate. There were no cameras, no proof, but we both knew who did it. That was it. That was the moment I decided, if Karen wanted drama, I'd give her a Broadway production. I spent the next few nights doing research. See, Karen's driveway was basic, old, boring, but more importantly, porous, unsealed, cheap concrete. I made a few purchases. 1 industrial-strength leaf blower, 1 pair of safety goggles, and 10 pounds of ultra-fine, high-grade metallic craft glitter, hot pink. I waited for the right moment. A sunny Sunday afternoon when Karen was gone at one of her HOA beautification committee meetings. Then I struck. I scattered the glitter in a sweeping arc from curb to garage door. It wasn't vandalism. I didn't use glue, paint, or spray, just gravity. A sprinkle, a dusting. But that dusting? It sparkled like a Las Vegas stage show. And the best part? That stuff sticks. Unsealed concrete absorbs glitter like a sponge absorbs wine. Even if you sweep, it lingers. Even if you pressure wash, it embeds in micro cracks. It clings forever. By the time Karen came home, her driveway looked like a disco ball. She screamed so loud I heard it from inside my closed house. The next morning, the entire cul-de-sac came out to stare. Some chuckled. Others took photos. A few asked me if I had seen what happened. I just shrugged. "Must have been the wind," I said. Karen, red-faced and fuming, stormed to my door. "What did you do?" she shrieked. "I don't know what you're talking about. You put glitter on my property." "Oh no," I said calmly. "That sounds like an unapproved structural modification. You should probably submit paperwork." She nearly imploded. She spent the next 5 days trying to clean it. Hoses, brooms, even a shop vac. It only spread further. Eventually, she hired a professional concrete cleaner. $600. Still didn't work. The glitter became a local legend. Kids started calling it the Unicorn Driveway. Tourists took selfies. Even the local newspaper ran a piece. Maplebrook's most magical driveway, a cautionary HOA tale. Karen lost it. She filed a police report, dismissed. Filed another complaint with the HOA, denied. Filed a civil suit for emotional distress, tossed by a judge in 10 minutes. That was the moment she realized she wasn't in control anymore. Karen's glitter meltdown. Karen's house became the talk of the neighborhood, but not in the way she liked. She called the police, again. This time, an officer actually showed up. But once I explained, politely, calmly, and armed with my camera footage of me staying entirely on my property, the officer nodded, smirked, and left without taking notes. Karen shouted at him from her porch. "She's lying. She weaponized sparkle. This is assault on aesthetics." No response. Just a slow, professional walk back to the cruiser. Lights off, no paperwork. Karen's face? Redder than Rudolph's nose on Christmas Eve. The glitter wasn't just stuck on her driveway now. It was in her car tires, her welcome mat, and somehow in her mailbox. Everywhere she turned, something sparkled. Neighbors started referring to her house as the Glitter Palace. One kid put it on Google Maps as a tourist attraction. Karen was seething, but things were just getting started. Because guess what? The HOA decided to take my side. The board sent out a community newsletter. The headline, "Reminder, all complaints must be respectful and non-harassing." Inside was a subtle paragraph about excessive complaints regarding reasonable, attractive upgrades to personal property. No names, but we all knew who it was about. Karen tried to fire back. She submitted a proposal to ban decorative driveways. It got 0 votes. Not even her own usual cronies backed her. Apparently, they were tired of her drama too. Then came the community garage sale. I set up a table on my glittered lawn, selling used books and homemade cookies. Business was booming. Everyone was curious about the driveway lady, as some now called me. Kids ran around tossing biodegradable glitter confetti in celebration. People were laughing, snapping photos, and I kept hearing them say, "This is the best this street has felt in years." Karen? She was inside all day with her blinds closed. That's when I realized she wasn't just mad about the glitter. She was mad that she'd lost her grip on the neighborhood. A week later, she made her final move. She hired a local news station. Yes, hired, because no one would come organically, to do a piece on HOA harassment and driveway discrimination. It backfired spectacularly. When the reporter showed up, they spoke with neighbors first. What did they get? Praise for me, complaints about Karen, and one neighbor even gave them footage of Karen yelling at their kid for laughing too loud. The story never aired. I heard later the reporter called it a comedy sketch pretending to be a neighborhood dispute. Then came the most poetic moment of all. One evening, I saw a moving truck outside Karen's house. She was leaving. No farewell, no notice. Just a silent, middle-of-the-night vanishing act. Rumor has it she sold the house at a loss, not because of the glitter, but because of her reputation. No one wanted to live near her. And yes, the glitter was still there. Her house sat on the market for 4 months. No matter how hard the realtor tried, no one could unsee the sparkle. Eventually, a young couple bought it. And the first thing they did? They added a glitter border to the driveway. I nearly cried from laughter. And now, peace reigns in the cul-de-sac. The HOA backed off trying to micromanage people's taste. Kids play freely, people talk again. And me? Well, I added some string lights along the edges of my driveway. Classy, subtle, and yes, a little sparkly. Because that's what neighbors should be. Bright, kind, and not afraid to shine. If you enjoy true HOA revenge stories like this, where petty meets poetic, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. One click keeps you in the loop, and trust me, the next story, it sparkles even brighter.